Good morning, all of you awesome and amazing people on YouTube. Okay, so MS7165. I don't know if that's Miss 7165 or if it's like Mike Smith 7165. Anyways, wants to know, how do you cook an egg over easy without getting that crispy, crunchy underside that I usually do in the morning? So here we go. We're going to do this in real time. Take your pan, right? Clean, cold. I'm going to get the biggest burner I have. I'm going to set my heat between... Get it on first. Okay, between medium and low, right? But you want to stay kind of more closer to the lower side. Why are we doing this? Biggest burner, more even distribution of heat. You can use a smaller pan if you want. This happens to be an All-Clad 10-inch frying pan D3. So 3 layers of metal, stainless steel on the bottom, aluminum in the middle, stainless steel on top. What that does is that more evenly distributes the heat so that you don't get like a hot spot, a cold spot, hot spot, whatever. It should be all one even playing field as close as you can. So I'm going to start the warming process now. And to re-explain the heat setting thing, let's say low was number 1 and medium was number 10. You want to be at like a 5, right? So if you're going to do over easy, it's all about low and slow, but you don't want to be too low. You just want to be low enough in the heat to where you don't get that crunchy, crispy, like frying crunchiness thing going on. Also, very, very important is lube up. You're going to need to use oil or butter or something similar. Okay, and do a slower heat up rate, right? So yesterday, in yesterday's video, when I did the eggs over hard, what I did was remember, if 1 was low and 10 was medium, I did like not 5, but like a 6. It was a little higher. So today I'm just going to go to like a 5, lower temperature, but a longer warm up time. So right now it's 9:58 and we're somewhere, like I have this like kind of like pre-mark because I do this a lot. But you want to be, like I said, somewhere between medium and low, but just kind of like right smack in the middle, even one lower. You're going to have to experiment. See what works for you. See what temperature setting is the best for you. You're going to have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. That's basically the expression. Okay, with that being said, another crucial thing is to have your egg or eggs already at room temperature, which means somewhere between 68 to 74 degrees. Me being the type of person that wakes up, eats, and then runs out the door, I have a hack for you. I have a trick for you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the fridge. I'm going to pull out, made some lentils. I got my Trader Joe's chocolate going on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out 2 eggs. Let's see, there's one. Got to do this gingerly, otherwise I'm going to, okay. Here's the other one. Okay, so I have 2 eggs, right, that I'm going to do over easy. And this is all in real time, so I'm showing you all what's up. Okay, so here's the butter. You could use butter, you could use olive oil, whatever you want to do, but here are my 2 eggs. Okay, so now here's another tip or trick is get yourself like a glass or a container. Put your eggs gingerly, because you don't want to crack them. You don't want to get any premature crackage. Then what you do is you bring your glass over to the sink. And if you can do warm water, try to do like warm water. Maybe turn it on. But basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get, shut that off real quick. You're trying to get your eggs up to room temperature as quickly as possible, and putting them in the water will kind of help to do that. If you have warm water, even better, but I wouldn't do hot water because then you're kind of like pre-cooking your egg and you don't want to do that. So just leave them in the water soaking whilst your pan gets up to temperature. And today I'm going to show you the whole light and frost effect and all that. If I drop a bead of water in there, right, and it sizzles off instantaneously, the pan's too cold. If I put a drop of water in there and it turns into a bead, but then it explodes like a firecracker, pan's too hot. So the light and frost effect basically means that when you put a drop of water in there and you've achieved like peak light and frost effectness, what happens is that ball of water should dance around the pan kind of like a marble. It should hold its shape and just move around the pan. So we're going to show you all that today. We've been warming up. I don't think I'm quite there yet. And how do I test that with the light and frost effect? So let's go ahead and get like a drop of water and drop it in there and see what happens. No, I kind of started to get it, but it's still sizzling. So my pan is still too cold or too low. And I just want to let it go more. So things that you can play around with at home when you're trying to get the perfect over easy egg without it sticking, and the light and frost effect. Increase the time, right? I wouldn't necessarily turn the temperature higher because then you're going to be too hot. You're going to start frying the egg and it's going to get crunchy and crispy on the bottom. If you want that soft over easy kind of effect, just keep your temperature low, but let it go let the pan go longer. So we're at 10:02 now. Let's try now. So I'm going to take the same, just put my finger in here, just get a ball of water. Let's see what happens. See, almost there, but pretty damn freaking close. Okay, if I had any residual water in there, I would just toss it out, right? No big deal. But I think we're getting close. Okay, so let's do this. So what I'm going to do is, you're going to need more oil than you normally use, or more butter, especially if you want that like silky smoothness going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get, I would say about like a full tablespoon of butter. Sorry. Doing this with one hand isn't the easiest. Okay, so here's a tablespoon of butter, and then I'm also going to use oil as well. You can use one or the other or both, but I'm going to give it like 2 good squirts. This is the olive oil sprayer I was using yesterday. Kind of sprays in like a horizontal or a vertical pattern. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just really lube up the pan. Get my butter in there. See that? And you want your butter to kind of sizzle and maybe start lightly browning, but you don't want to like overcook it. So once it stops sizzling, you can kind of tell, right? Now what I want to do is I want to take my eggs out. Time is of the essence here. Try to dry them off first if you can. And I'm doing this in one hand, so it's kind of a little bit harder, but let's go ahead and dry these a little bit because you don't want to get any more water into that pan. Okay, so now going back, I stopped hearing the sizzle, right? My butter isn't browning as quickly as it did yesterday, right? Because we're at a lower temperature setting. So now what you want to do is you just want to crack your eggs in. Very gentle. Just crack them in there. Okay, now I want to do the same over here. I'm going to crack my egg in. Very, very gently. You want to be low when you do this. Don't do this from way up here, otherwise you're going to drop and you're going to splatter. But the reason why you want to kind of be lower when you do this is because you want to keep that layer of oil between the pan and your egg. So also very important, have yourself a non-stick or silicone spatula. This one happens to be an OXO Good Grips. I'm just gently nudging, right? I'm not scraping the bottom of the pan. I'm just gently nudging to try to release the sides. And you can do this a little quicker than you did yesterday as long as you feel like you've got a good release, right? So there's a good release. There's a good release. So I'm pretty much released. Now what I want to do is wiggle. I've got that hockey puck action. Now I can go ahead and do my flip. Let's see if I can do this with one hand and flip. Perfect. So little bit of crispiness, but I think this passes the test of MS whatever, Miss whatever, or Mike Smith or whatever those initials stood for. At this point, I want to shut off the heat. Yes, there is a ton of butter and oil in there, but guess what? You're gonna need to do that if you want your egg over easy. So I shut off the heat because I no longer want to cook. Make sure you have good non-stickiness. Release, baby, please. So there you go. Okay, so there's my release, and then now I can go ahead and do one of these and plate it. There you go. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me grab a fork here so I can show you all. My handy dandy fork. So in terms of over easiness, let's go ahead and look at this again. So there you go. If I flip this one more time, let's see if I can do this. Nope, not going to happen. But let me go ahead and flip these so I can show you. Maybe just one. I don't want to break the yolk. But if I flip it over, there you go. Is that as over easy as you wanted? MS, Mike Smith, or whatever? I hope so. Anyways, that is the perfect, I would say, over easy if that's the kind of egg that you like. And in the pan, notice all this residual butter and oil that's in there. You're going to need to do that if you want to make your egg over easy like that. Anyways, I hope this answers that viewer's question and maybe other people who wanted to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to make me some toast and enjoy these eggs. And hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down there below. There will be some links to some cool products down there. And I'll catch you all in the next exciting video. By the way, comment in the comment section. You never know when your comment could turn into a future video.